Hi class, this is Don Dean and I just wanted to go over a couple of things before we get into our module and upcoming midterm. Remember, when you access Canvas, to always check the announcements. The latest announcement will always be at the top, as you can see here. I'm going to be posting a new one soon. Any important information is in the announcements, and these also go to your email, but I just wanted to remind you that they are here on your home page as well. So as we look at the syllabus, let's check out what we have coming up. Let's scroll down to see our deadlines. So as you can see, what's due today is the presentation and deadline. That's due by midnight tonight. And I can't wait to see what you guys turn in, because the work that you've been doing so far has been wonderful. And then next week on April 5th is due the image collection of crime related to information technology discussion. And then the Thursday after that will be the identifying and analyzing themes. And then the Thursday after that, on April 19th, will be your midterm. So that's April 5th, image collection of crime related to technology discussion. Then April 12th, identifying and analyzing themes. And then on April the 19th is your midterm. We'll be explaining more about the midterm when we get to that part of this video. So let's take a look at your modules. So we're now done with Module 3 and we're going to get started in Module 4. And then here is the Module 4 overview, and this will be the video that I'm about to post. So let's talk about your first assignment, which is a collaborative group assignment. You'll be building a collection of images that are related to crime and information technology. And this is what will be due 1 week from today on April the 5th. So before you start, make sure you read and take notes in Chapter 5, Crime and Security, in our class text, pages 248 through 302. And then read the following PowerPoint, which gives an overview of the entire chapter. And then you need to go to the discussion board and, using the link below, participate in building a collection of digital images and descriptions related to a crime made possible through the exploitation of information technology. And remember that you cannot see what your other classmates have posted until you have actually posted. So here's what you have to supply in your initial post. You need to surf the web and identify a single image that's related to a crime that's made possible through the exploitation of information technology, and save it on your computer. Be creative with your choice. Then after that, you create a new thread, and then make sure that you give your thread an interesting and compelling title that best represents the image you've chosen. Then you upload and embed your image in your post, and be sure to provide a link to the image location and any necessary copyright information. And then underneath that, you write a 1-paragraph description of what the image shows, how it relates to one of the topics covered in this module's reading, and be sure when you do it to cite the Base and Hendry specific page number in your text. You need to be specific on the page number. So this part of the assignment is worth 20 points. Then next, in the same post, you need to provide a link to a current article. That's an article that was written within the last 6 months that relates to the image. And be sure to include the article's title and the publication date. Then you need to write a 1-paragraph summary of the article, and including its key points, and explain the ways that the article relates to the image you've chosen and one of the topics in this module's reading. So that part's worth 20 points. And once you've done that, then you need to look at what your other students have written and then write reflections that substantively comment on at least 2 of your classmates' posts. Up until now, you've been doing mostly just 1 classmates' posts. For this assignment, you'll need to do 2 classmates' posts. So here's what you need to do for the second part of your assignment. You need to review and reflect on the entire collection of digital images, descriptions, articles, and follow-up posts on the discussion board. This is due the week after component 1. This will be due on April the 12th, on Thursday, April the 12th. So you need to make sure that you read every single post. And then when you've read all of them, you need to identify 3 broad themes that exist in all the posts that your fellow students have done. And then you should use a word processor and do the following. Put your first and last name in the left side of the header of the document, and then put page numbers using the style page number of pages, like 1 through 3. So let me show you an example. So here's a header. So when you double click in Word, it brings up the header, and then you can type your name here, like I've done. I've put my name, Don Dean, here. And then once you've done that, it's an easy matter of going to Insert and then selecting page number, select bottom of the page, and then you want to put your page number in the right. So you can just put this plain page number in the right. You can select that, and then it will put the page number here, and it will automatically add the page number to each page. And then you need to name it your first and last name, and then LM4C2, which stands for Learning Module 4, Component 2. So I've done that with mine, where it's my last name, Don Dean, and then LMC2. Okay, so that's the first thing you're supposed to do. And then at the top of the first page, you put a title of the first broad theme you've identified. And this can be anything that you want, but it must be reflective of the theme that you identified through the analysis of the entire discussion. So in other words, what that means is after you've looked at everybody's posts and you've identified the theme, then that's what the title should be. So in my example, I'm imagining that identity theft would be a thing, so I came up with this title. Identity thieves want to be your friend. And then under that you need to put 3 pictures that go along with that theme. And these are the pictures, not pictures that you go out and find on the internet. These are pictures that you and your fellow students have gone out to find on the internet. So you need to copy and paste the pictures from your fellow students' posts here, not new pictures. So those are the 3 digital images that you've gotten from the discussion board. And then below those images and your first theme, insert the images that you've identified, and so size them so that they can be placed side by side and centered, like I've done here. So I've been able to fit them all here. If they get bigger, then they'll jump below. So just make sure that they're sized in such a way that they can all 3 fit next to each other. And then in your document, basically below the images, you will be summarizing and analyzing the first theme you identified. And be sure that when you do that, you talk about what is the most negative implication of the technology. Identify courses of action that can be taken to reduce the future problems. And then talk about what can be done in your estimation in the near future. Come up with an idea. This is your critical thinking. What can be done in the near future to solve this problem? And so like the thing that's been in the news an awful lot lately, I'm sure that you've all seen it, is the situation with Facebook and Cambridge Analytica, where it turned out that they improperly used the information from 50 million people and helped influence both the Brexit elections and the U.S. elections. That's something that's really been heavily in the news, but that would not be something that you would include in your report unless that is a theme that you saw in in what your fellow students were doing. And so you need to do this three times. So you have three different pages, and on each page you'll have a different theme, a different title, different images. By the end of it, you'll have 9 images, and you will have written 3 different reports where you answer these questions about that theme, based on what you've noticed from your fellow students' posts, and this is worth 50 points. Once you've done this, you need to move on to the midterm study guide. So the midterm study guide states that the midterm is going to be available starting on Monday, the 16th of April at 5 a.m. and it can be taken anytime between then and Thursday, the 19th at midnight. And it's going to cover a lot of ground. It's going to cover the learning modules 1 through 4, and it's going to be worth 150 points. So you want to make sure that you do well with this one. It's going to have 3 sections. Each of the sections is going to be worth 50 points. So the first section is going to be multiple choice questions. The second section will be 5 short answer questions, and the third section is going to be an essay. And you'll have 2 hours and 20 minutes to finish it. So what that means is that for each section of the midterm, you'll have 45 minutes to complete it. And you need to really make sure that you do it that way, that you make sure that you do the first part in 45 minutes, do the second part in 45 minutes, and so that you'll have 45 minutes left for your essay. One of the big problems is that since this is open book, students have a tendency when they're to not study ahead of time, just to rely on flipping back and forth between your book and the test. And that is going to really hurt your score. You need to study ahead of time. You cannot rely on doing that for all of these questions. Maybe 2 or 3 questions you'll be able to go back and look up, but you're going to need to study the material ahead of time and be familiar with it, because otherwise you will just not have the time to finish what you have to finish. And another thing that to really keep in mind is that you have reliable access to the internet during the window of time that you choose to take the exam. I don't allow students to retake the test if for whatever reason the internet messed up and they're not able to take the test. Before you take the test, make sure that you're in a place where the internet is reliable. And here is a study guide that will help you prepare for the midterm. So these are the list of topics that may or may not be on the test. You can count on a lot of them being on the test in some fashion or another. But I'm not going to read through all of these. You can do that yourself. These are the things that you want to make sure that you are familiar with when you do the midterm. And students, that's Module 4. If you have any questions or have any concerns, please send them to me right away. I will respond as quickly as possible. And I do want to mention that I'm very impressed with the work that most of you are doing. Keep it up. Keep it up. Thank you.